Is the new Grotti Turismo Omaggio faster than Kriger and Emerus, the two best supercar vehicles in the game right now, outside of the How Special Works vehicles? Even though those two are from 2018 and 2019, they're still at the top of their class for just the OG supercar class. And finally, we have a new supercar that doesn't have How Special Works upgrades, so this is probably the best fair comparison we have in a while. Now, they are all both in the similar price range, but this is what we'll want to look at: performance. So I made a custom racetrack for this exact reason, to test out these vehicles. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting much. The first round I did of this, I got 1 minute and 1 second, which is just outside the top 5, really. Because all of the top 5 supercars are just right at 1 minute. That is why this track is so perfect for testing, because there's a perfect line between the top 5 and all the other rest, because there are just only a few that could get under 1 minute. And this car, even though the first time I tried it, I got 1 minute and 1 second, I then went on to test the Kriger and I got just about 59 seconds. So with the Kriger, I got a total time of 59.635 second lap time. And the second time I went back to go test the new Turismo, I got a lap time of 58.920 seconds. And that's really surprising. The Kriger, I know how to drive the Kriger. I know how to drive the Emerus. I've been driving those for years. But this new car, the turning is just so good that it beats these two top vehicles. Now, I will say right off the bat that the top speed is not comparable at all. The Emerus and the Kriger beat out the new Turismo by far. But lap time, the new Turismo just grips so good. And the turning is super easy. It almost has no physics at all. Wherever you want to turn, this car is going to turn, and that's where this car is so good at. That is why, even though you do see that this car does lose pace on the straights on this highway, which is why I do have this highway on this track, it makes up a lot of time in just the few turns this track does have. That's how good this car is in the corners, that just on the 5 turns I have on this track, it makes up 10 seconds on these other vehicles. Now, just to test out the Emerus, even though the Kriger is always going to beat the Emerus on most tracks, I went out and tested the Emerus just in case, and of course I got just about over 1 minute with the Emerus on this track, because this track does have longer straights and the Kriger is faster than the Emerus in the straights. But yeah, this is really surprising. So it's not going to be the fastest supercar now, because the straight line speed just isn't there for this. But on most tracks, I would say this car could beat most other supercars you put it up against, because the new Turismo Omaggio, or however you pronounce that word, rocks are coming up with these crazy names. This car is super good in the corners. The traction is really amazing. And for about the same price, really, you're getting about the same, maybe even more performance. Again, I'm still new to this car. This is only my 10th lap, and even only on 10th lap with this new vehicle, I was able to beat the Kriger. Now, I'm not a professional car tester in GTA Online. I just do this for fun. I do this for my own research purposes, so I know what vehicles to drive in the game, and just by going this alone, I consider myself a casual, maybe more above casual driver in GTA Online. For most people, this is probably going to be true. You probably are going to get more performance on most tracks, and especially free roam when you're weaving in and out of traffic with the new Turismo, because the traction is just so much better compared to these other vehicles. Now, putting it up against How Special Works vehicles, it's not even going to be close, because How Special Works vehicles is a class of its own. But against the OG vehicles in the supercars class, we know there's some crazy ones, like some crazy sports cars that beat out supercars vehicles. But in the supercars class, the new Turismo is probably going to be the go-to for most tracks. So just a quick little update for you guys, because this car, it might be underrated because of the top line speed, but don't pay attention to only the top line speed. Look at both, and when it comes to this car, the traction is just so good, I think it is worth the buy. So if you think about buying this, do it, because it's probably going to be worth it with the amount of traction this thing has. So I'll be comparing all the other new vehicles that release. We don't have much on day one. We do have these two. We have the new Turismo and the new Vergero, which are fast, but we don't have any other too fast vehicles. We will be getting those later down the line with Dirt Fed content. So subscribe if you want to see that, and I'll see you guys in whatever video I make next.